Hello and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to be taking a look at what's in store for you in 2023. This is meant to just be a general overview of different themes and possible events and maybe a part of your spiritual journey that might take place this year. We might get a bit of a general timeline, but since it is a general reading, it could be that the timeline might shift or change depending on your energy or other factors in your life. So as always, just take it however it resonates for you. And then we'll get maybe some advice from your spirit guides about how to handle things that might happen for you this year. I will be putting out videos also this month about your career and your romantic life in separate videos. So again, this is just meant to be an overview of 2023. And with that said, please feel free to pause the video, pick whichever card is speaking the most to you, and let's get into today's reading. Hello Pile 1 and welcome to your reading. If you chose the Mermaid Tarot, this is going to be your reading for today, where we are taking a look at what might be in store for you in 2023. This is meant to just be kind of a general overview of some things that you can expect this year, maybe a bit of a general timeline. If certain specific events might happen, we'll see what comes out in the cards, and then we might get some advice from your spirit guides about how to handle some things that might happen for you this year. I will be putting out separate videos this month on career and romance, so keep your eyes open for those. And this is, again, just meant to be more of a general overview. So with that said, let's get into it. Oh, go. Okay. All right. Okay. All right, we have the Six of Cups. Okay. The Ten of Wands. Okay, it flipped over in my hand. Okay, your cards are jumping all over the place by that one. This actually happened with your oracle cards as well. Several of your cards came out before I was ready to pull the cards, and your spirit guides insisted that I take them as is, so that's what we're doing. Okay, we have the Knight of Pentacles. Okay. Okay, and then we have, oh lovely, okay, we have the Fool, and the Wheel of Fortune, beautiful. And I wasn't going to do this, but I am feeling compelled to take your oracle cards right away, just so that we can have the full picture. I usually don't do it that way, but I am feeling compelled to do that for this reading, so that's what we're going to do. And the first card we have for you is, and this is one of your oracle cards that actually came out before I was ready to pull the card, and it is the Peacock. It says, let yourself stand out and be noticed. Then we have, oh, I love this, Growth and Passion, very nice. Okay, and then, ooh, okay, this is funny. We have Turkey, which says someone is behaving stupidly. And then we have, ooh, very nice. Okay, we have the Ant, which says work, achievement, success. Okay, so I want to say the first intuitive thing that I'm picking up here is to take it one day at a time, and that things are definitely, especially with the Ant spirit, things are going to be progressing for you this year. However, it might feel slower than you want it to, but there is a message that, in order for things to grow organically the way that they are meant to as part of your divine plan, we need to learn how to practice patience. And I know that that is much easier said than done, and that's so frustrating, especially I know personally for me, I get extremely frustrated sometimes with the idea of needing to be patient and wait for the divine plan, etc., etc. I'm like, I just want things to happen now, and then I find that when things do start happening, I get extremely overwhelmed, and and I'm like, oh no, I wish things would slow down. So I don't know if that resonates for you, but there might just be a message that you will be experiencing forward momentum. You will be starting a new cycle. There is good fortune coming towards you this year. However, with the combination of the Ten of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles, and particularly the Knight of Pentacles, there might be a message that particularly towards the beginning of the year, there might be a lot happening. And I think that Honestly, I think the thing that I just said about when things start happening, it can feel overwhelming, and like we want it to slow down a little bit. That might actually apply to you this year. It might be more of a case, instead of getting frustrated because things are happening slow. The growth, flowers grow at the pace that they grow at, and we can't force it to move faster, right? There might actually be a message here that something is going to happen maybe towards the beginning of the year that is going to produce an overwhelming feeling. And you might, the advice here, like I think there's a dual advice here with the Knight of Pentacles and the Peacock Spirit. It's like, take it one day at a time. If you're feeling overwhelmed, just break it down into small, manageable steps. Keep it practical. Write a list. Make a list of priorities. What priorities do I need to take care of in the next 5 minutes? What can wait until tomorrow? Can I delegate something to somebody else? Is there someone I can reach out to for help? Any of those types of things. So the Knight of Pentacles is very practical, very methodical, very diligent energy, and they're like kind of looking at the list of things they have to do on the Ten of Wands, might be feeling overwhelming. And they're just like, okay, like this person literally has a journal and a twig that they're using as a pen and saying, okay, how can I break this down into something that is manageable? And then the other piece of advice with the Peacock Spirit is let yourself stand out and be noticed, which I think is probably related to this Fool energy here. There's kind of a similar color energy going on there, which we will talk about. I usually go card by card. I just wanted to get the kind of intuitive stuff out of the way right off the bat before I forget. So the other thing, I just said I was gonna get into it, but the other thing is I am also noticing definitely there's a flower on the growth card. There's also, this looks like floral imagery to me on the Passion card, like some type of lily maybe, or an orchid. Floral imagery and flowers in particular might be an important spiritual messenger for you this year. You might be feeling particularly drawn to nature and or the concept of the growth of a flower, something blooming, something opening its petals, especially with the peacock fanning out its feathers. You might be blooming or blossoming this year in some way. So the imagery of flowers might be important, and they might also, as I said, be an important spiritual messenger, something that your spirit guides or your higher self, some spiritual being is sending to you as a sign, as a symbol of encouragement, as a symbol of, remember that the flower blooms exactly the way that it is meant to, exactly in its own time frame. We can, we can work with the natural growth cycles. And when we do that, we're working with the flow of life rather than against it. So again, that might be something that resonates for you. So I am going to start with the Six of Cups over here. Okay, the Six of Cups. This is usually a bit more of a neutral message, might have a positive connotation. The Six of Cups is related to our past, our memories, our childhood, something that is nostalgic for us, and it can, we are going to do like separate readings related to career and romance, but there can be a connection also to soul family, soul tribe, and soulmates. So that might be something that resonates for you with passion here. There might be a connection there. But the Six of Cups, again, because it's related to our past, that can be related to like our literal past in this lifetime so far, or past lives. And there might be something that you recognize probably towards the beginning of the year where you are going to be feeling drawn to something, and they could be, because there are two ways to read this card, as like it's part of our past in this lifetime or our past in a different lifetime. There could be a message that this could be interpreted either way, or it could be both together. There might be something, I'm having trouble articulating this idea. There might be something you feel drawn to towards the beginning of the year that has to do maybe with your childhood. There might be something that has to do with your inner child. There might be something that has to do with, you might be feeling passionate about something that is related to maybe something that you used to do as a child. There might be something that's related to your family of origin or your hometown. where you grew up, you might be feeling drawn to something that is related to your past. And so that could be like old memories coming up and saying like, oh, I remember when I used to do this and I'm feeling drawn to do that activity again. Or there could be something, maybe a childhood friend or somebody from your past, like your childhood, or you know, something related to I'm getting the sense that this has more to do with childhood than like an ex or like a past romantic connection. There's something here that is going to be sparked towards the beginning of the year that is again, it's going to draw you back to your past in some way. And you know, this card, the imagery on this card is kind of like fun and positive. But then the next card we have is the Ten of Wands. And so there might be a message that whatever is happening with the Six of Cups can quickly become overwhelming. The Ten of Wands is not necessarily a negative message, but it can carry a connotation that the Ten of Wands, the 10 Wands, that's a lot of wands to carry. That's a lot to carry. It is a heavy burden for one person, and it can come up when we have taken on too much or we're starting to feel overburdened or exhausted or really tired. That might be something that resonates for you, or something that you might feel like you might be on the verge of, or you might recognize that you do have a tendency maybe to take on too much, to feel a little bit overly obligated. And if the Six of Cups has something to do with your family or your childhood, somebody, your family of origin, they might be asking you to do a lot. You might be returning to your hometown to take care of a family member. You might have something that relates to that, or you might have something that like sparks your passion that might be related to your career or a creative project that has to do with your past or your childhood, something that you used to enjoy doing, or like a childhood friend or acquaintance maybe reaching out to you and saying like, hey, I'm starting a business, do you want to come back and kind of invest in this with me, etc., etc., whatever it is, however this applies to you, it's a general reading, might quickly become a lot. It's a lot, you're putting a lot of energy into this thing. And again, the main intuitive message I was being drawn to immediately was that there's a lot of advice here on this Knight of Pentacles card. And what's interesting is we have the Ten of Wands, and then we have the Fool, and then the Wheel of Fortune. And so this, for me, is like the 10 is the end. That's the most wands we can have. It's the end of the suit. It's the end of the cycle. This is like we're crossing over the finish line with these 10 wands, and then we're going to be starting somewhere new in the energy of the Fool. And it's like, let's take a look at, let's evaluate what's going on this Ten of Wands. What about this was working for you, and what about this can you leave behind so that you don't bring it into the next cycle, so that you don't feel overwhelmed, so that you don't feel overburdened when you are starting something new. And this might be happening maybe towards the summertime, or towards like the middle of the year. Or as I say, as a general reading, a timeline might either be very compressed towards the beginning of the year. This stuff might happen more towards the end of the year, however it applies to you. But this is the main crux of what is going on for you energetically this year. Yes, there's a cycle that's ending. There's a cycle that's beginning. And the growth, the spiritual growth that's happening here is you being in your Knight of Pentacles energy. This is a one day at a time energy. This is, again, like let's focus on what tasks, what priorities we can take care of today to support our future goals, and just kind of break it down into small, easy, manageable tasks. We're committed. We're showing up every day. We're working hard towards something, work, achievement, success. It is going to feel like you are working towards achieving a particular goal, so that we can move into this next cycle in the beautiful energy of the Fool, where we are not feeling, the Fool specifically is unburdened by the past. The Fool specifically, it's the very first card in the tarot deck. It is a new beginning. It is a fresh start where we are not bringing the baggage of the past with us into this new cycle. We have processed what's going on here with this Ten of Wands, and we've done that by being in the very practical energy of the Knight of Pentacles. And again, the reason why at the beginning of the reading I was saying there might be a need for patience is because the Knight of Pentacles is not a fast-moving energy. Pentacles is the slowest moving suit in the tarot, and so even though the Knight is an action-oriented person, the action that the Knight of Pentacles takes is, again, very methodical. It's one step at a time. And it is, let's move forward with the understanding that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And that step is being represented by the step that this person, that this Fool is taking forward into the thing we can't see off screen here that this Fool is moving towards. And the Fool, like, is the beautiful energy, beautiful card, beautiful message. I'm so sorry, pile one. I had to take an important phone call. I believe I was talking about the Fool. And how this is a positive message in the new year, because it means you're going to be starting a new cycle, especially after a cycle that ends at the Ten of Wands. You know, so you're going to be feeling unburdened, but I think it's because you're taking the time to figure things out and like how to make this work, and at the same time how to incorporate your experiences so that you're no longer taking on too much. And then the Fool followed by the Wheel of Fortune is a really positive message. This is almost giving me the sense that, like, you get to set the direction that you're going in. Like, this is a shipwrecked steering wheel representing this Wheel of Fortune, and there's an element of autonomy. Like, the Wheel of Fortune definitely represents the threads of fate and the divine plan and certain things that are set out before you. However, there is an element of choice here as well. Like, you can decide where to go, which way to turn the wheel. And the fact that, we have this card here is a very positive message about you're taking control of the direction of your life. And yet it's the way that I like to think about it is our lives are not so tightly scripted that we have to follow a certain path, or we have to go in a certain direction, or we have to make a certain choice in order to complete the goals that we've set out in our divine plan, in our soul contract in this lifetime. I think of it more as there are certain themes, there are certain story beats, there are certain character development moments that we are meant to go through, and there are different pathways to those story beats, and we get to choose how we want to write the story that we're going to live in this lifetime. And that's why I'm like, this is giving me a sense like being in the energy of the Fool and then standing in front of the Wheel of Fortune and saying, like, I can do anything, I can go anywhere, I am in control of the direction of my life, and I don't need to bring this feeling with me into the future. I can take it one step at a time, and I can set things into alignment for myself so that I know that I am going to hit the next story beat when I feel like I am ready to do that. And I think that is a beautiful positive message. The Wheel of Fortune also it's a positive message about good luck. It's saying, like, the wheel's turning in your favor right now, and you are going to be generating positive outcomes and good luck for yourself by stepping up and choosing to embrace the autonomy that you do have over the direction that your story takes. And it's like being in this positive, hopeful, what's the word? Optimistic energy of the Fool and also in this practical mindset, grounded mindset of the Knight of Pentacles. Both of these at the same time are going to, again, they're going to really help you embrace whatever direction you want to take on this Wheel of Fortune. It's like you can achieve whatever you want, and there might be some aspect of needing to really clarify for yourself where you want to go from here. So again, there might be some point in time this year where you are really kind of taking stock of your situation and trying to get things organized. And it's like that might be part of this work, achievement, success. It's like we're working, we're achieving what we want to achieve, and we're moving towards success because we're taking the time to kind of untangle things, to figure out what sparks our passion, what makes us feel hopeful and optimistic, and like the future is an endless string of possibilities. There's millions of ways to achieve whatever story we want to achieve for ourselves in this lifetime. And there's, I think, with passion, there might also be a message that you are just, there's like a reignition of passion that might have to do with the Six of Cups. It might be related to a relationship of some sort, but it doesn't have to be. You might just also be feeling more passionate about life, and that might be part of this Fool energy. Is like having like a renewed outlook on what you can achieve in your lifetime, and especially what you can achieve over the course of a year. And it could even be like over the course of a few months, like really kind of focusing away from feeling overworked, overburdened, and like, you know, there's too much going on here, and towards, oh, I don't have to do everything, but I can do anything. I can do anything I want, and I can kind of figure that out for myself. And I think that that's kind of the feeling that I'm getting from these cards. And then there's other things up here in the Oracle cards that I want to talk about. I think the message of the peacock, I think, is really interesting. We have let yourself stand out and be noticed. That might also be related to the transition between the Knight of Pentacles and the Fool. Might be like when you're in this kind of evaluation stage, and kind of looking, you know, this Knight's looking this way, and then the Fool's kind of moving forward into the future. When you're evaluating this, there might be something that you realize. It might be related to a passion that you have. That is, there's some aspect of assertiveness and some aspect of fearlessness, of courage. And those are messages that are also associated with the Fool. It's like boldly choosing to take a step forward into the unknown. And that can be scary, right? But there's some, you know, the peacock is bold. You know, these peacock feathers make a statement. It's, I am here. I am a peacock. I am gorgeous. This is who I am. And I think you're going to be in that energy when you're in the Fool and Wheel of Fortune over here. You're just going to be feeling comfortable, letting yourself be seen as your authentic self, and showing up. And there could be some aspect too, if this resonates for you, this might not be for everybody, but it might be for some of you watching. There might be some aspect to what you're choosing to do when you move into the future. It might have to do with changing your style of dress, might have to do with changing your appearance in some way. It might have to do with putting yourself out there online or on social media, and really just kind of saying, again, like, this is who I am. I'm not afraid to be myself, and I'm not afraid to speak up and to show up, and to stand out, and to be noticed. It's reminding me of Brene Brown and some of the things that she said about like showing up and letting yourself be seen. And how, you know, that can be, for some people, for a lot of people, that can be like the hardest thing to do. You know, like that can be the scariest thing to do, is just to show up and let yourself be seen. And I think that might be part of this growth, part of something that you're working on. And it might be something, again, that you might realize over the course of the year, you actually have a passion for doing something that is going to be seen, that is going to be noticed, that is going to make you stand out from the crowd. And that might be something that resonates for you. And then I want to talk about the tea leaf cards. We have the ant over here, which says work, achievement, success. Ants are symbols of hard work, definitely. I think that that's something that's definitely being associated with this. You know, the Ten of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles. Ten of Wands can be feeling overworked or overburdened. This is also about achievement, success, closing out a cycle. You've carried those 10 wands up a mountain. Like, that is something to be really, really proud of. And I think you are going to be feeling proud of yourself. And then with the Knight of Pentacles, very hardworking, diligent energy. And that is something that I would associate with the ant. And then the other thing is that ants don't work alone. you know, they live in colonies and they work together. You know, that's like a definite message of the ant spirit. Is it's about teamwork. It's about if you need to ask for help, if you need to delegate, if you whatever it is, there might be some aspect of teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work. You know, that might also be associated with this peacock of like let yourself stand out and be noticed. Like there might be people who can help you along the path towards the Fool and the Wheel of Fortune. That in the Wheel of Fortune, this might even be saying you might have people coming in and coming into your life and coming towards you this year. Might be connected to soul family, but they might be coming in to help you and like help form part of your colony to work towards achievement and success, whatever you're trying to achieve this year, whether that is something that is related to your career or if it's something that's more related to kind of like growth, spiritual development, maybe reopening your heart chakra, might be something that resonates for you. But then I do want to talk about the colors here. You know, the green of the heart chakra, I do associate this card with heart chakra growth and development of relationships. It might be something that resonates for you. This is a red color that I would associate with the root chakra, and the fact that it says passion, and you know, red is also very much associated with passion, all types of passion, anger, lust, love, anything like that, all types of like really kind of heightened emotions of feeling really strongly about something. It's also connected to the root chakra of groundedness, of practicality, bringing things into the physical world, and of feeling safe, secure, and like you have a place in the world and that you deserve to be here. And so there might be some aspect of safety, security, and kind of working on self-esteem to the point where is one of your core beliefs is that you have a place in this world and you deserve to be seen. Might be something that you're working on that might resonate for you as well. And I would say definitely there's going to be a lot of development in that area this year. And then the turkey, I think this is a funny card with an interesting message. It says someone is behaving stupidly. And this might be something that you already recognize, or this might be something that might be kind of a just a heads up from your spirit guides. So someone might be coming towards you, might be involved in your life this year, who is maybe it could be that they don't have malicious intentions, but it could be that they're not acting in your best interest, or they might not be acting in their own best interest. They might just be making choices that are not the best for them, and that might be something that, again, you already recognize about, that might be referring to somebody in your life, and then this would just be a confirmation. You know, they're just not thinking about it. Like again, might not be coming from a place of maliciousness, but it could just be confirmation. Yeah, that person is or they're not thinking about their situation clearly. And there might be another way to read this, and you know, I do think that this is like kind of a tongue-in-cheek kind of message. There might be a way to interpret this where it's like you might already know that you have a tendency to take on too much, or you might feel obligated, especially obligations around family, family of origin, like your parents or people you grew up with. You might like already have a knowledge that you have a tendency to take on too much or feel really obligated when it comes to your family. You might feel guilty about certain things, about maybe standing up for yourself, or moving away from this energy, and you might already know that you are being encouraged to focus on your self-care and putting yourself first in those situations. I fully understand and validate that is incredibly difficult to do. You know, our relationships with our family in particular are often extremely complicated, and it's not so easy. It's not always so black and white to just say like, oh, your family is toxic and you need to cut ties with them. Like most situations are not that clear cut, and it can be really hard to kind of detach our energy and stop putting you know, our self-worth into, you know, how much can we do for other people. It's like kind of refocusing on how can I best take care of myself while also taking care of whatever responsibilities are my responsibility, and then leaving the rest, like just leaving the rest. You know, if it's not my responsibility, I can let go of it, and by communicating that, like saying like, no, this, I'm not going to do that because that's not my responsibility. This is your responsibility. You are a grown adult. You know, if you don't want to do that, that's up to you. It's just not going to get done because I'm not going to take on that responsibility anymore. There might be a boundary like that, that is, you know, that you are working on communicating, that sort of thing. If that resonates for you, this might just be saying like let's pause and evaluate this, and saying, oh, someone is behaving stupidly. I don't think that your spirit guides would be calling you stupid for that. I think it's just, there might be something that you already know that you have a tendency to do that is not in your best interest. And it could be that this is just like a tongue-in-cheek message from spirit. Like, you kind of already know that. So, you know, let's stop engaging in this. Let's work away from this, and work towards being in the energy of the Fool, because you can have whatever you want. You can make whatever you want happen here. And there's a definite confirmation in these cards about ending a cycle, closing this out, and focusing on starting a new cycle where you are in a much more unburdened place. And that might have to do with, you might have members of your soul family or other people coming in to kind of help you, might help you kind of work through all this stuff, and help you get kind of a clearer perspective on what's going on here, and helpful strategies on how to move forward. So that might be something that resonates for you. And with that said, I think that is where I'm going to leave your reading for today, Pile 1. I hope that this has been helpful. As I said at the beginning, we are going to be doing separate videos on romance and career in 2023. So stay tuned for those. If you like this video, please feel free to give it a like. That really helps me out. Please comment down below and let me know whether this resonated for you or not. If you like my videos, you want to see more from me, you can feel free to subscribe to this channel. I also have a Patreon where I post bonus videos. And with that said, thank you very much for watching, Pile 1, and I do hope to see you in my next video. Hello, Pile 2, and welcome to your reading. If you chose the Cosmic Visions Tarot, this is going to be your reading for today, where we are taking a look at what is in store for you in 2023. This is meant to just be kind of a general overview of some of the general themes and things to expect from the year. We'll see what comes out. I am going to be doing separate videos on romance and career for 2023, so keep your eyes open for those. And with that said, let's get into it. What can Pile 2 expect in? Okay, we have the 8 of Wands. Very nice. Okay. What can Pile 2 expect? And okay. Okay, we have the High Priestess. Alright, what can Pile 2 expect? Okay. Flipped over in my hand. We have the Ace of Pentacles. Very nice. What can Pile 2? Okay. All right, Pile 2. So we have the 8 of Wands, the High Priestess, the Ace of Pentacles, the Son of Wands, this would be the Knight of Wands, and the Emperor. I did have to censor this one a little. It's a little bit spicy. There is a little bit of nudity in this deck. I love this deck. I think it's awesome, but it does sometimes need to be censored a little bit for YouTube. So that's why we have this crystal here. And I do think right off the bat, this is a pretty positive message for this year for you. And then we are going to get your oracle cards right off the bat, just so that we have kind of a full idea of the whole picture for you. So we have, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this correctly, but I will try, Hueo, which is a Hawaiian owl. And it says, your ancestral spirit guides are offering you guidance now, so pay close attention to signs and omens from them. I love that, especially with the High Priestess here. I think there's a message. You can trust your intuition, and you can trust the signs and symbols that you're seeing from spirit, and that you might be feeling in 2023 particularly connected to spirit and the spiritual messages, the spiritual guidance that you are receiving. It is a confirmation that you will be receiving guidance. So if you, in 2023, you feel like you're questioning the signs and symbols, like, is this real? Is this really happening? Can I trust this? Can I trust my intuitive gut feelings about something? I think this would be a confirmation that yes, these are messages that are coming from spirit, and that you can trust also your intuition about those things. You might be going through a third eye expansion this year. So those are just some intuitive things right off the bat, right as soon as I saw that card. And then we have Oh, I love this. Okay. This would also confirm for me about a third eye expansion this year. Definitely very much connected to intuition and spiritual guidance. We have magic. This looks like a third eye to me, or like any other chakra. Could even be the crown with the lotus flower. And it is kind of like a purpley kind of pinky color that we could associate with the higher chakras as well. And you might be practicing magic or getting into magic this year, but this could also just be referring to your internal magic, as in your internal ability to make things happen for yourself and your innate connection to higher level divine guidance. So definitely think that there's an interesting connection there. Ooh, I like this. Okay, and then we have cleanse. And that might have something to do with this kind of transition here from the Eight of Wands through the High Priestess to the Ace of Pentacles. Maybe something going on here. Definitely there's success in the cards for you. There's something that has to do with a new beginning, starting something new. There might be a spiritual purge process that might be going on for you, maybe towards the beginning of the year, towards maybe the end of winter towards spring. It might be like spring cleaning, and it might be kind of like a spiritual spring cleaning that might happen for you. I know that is something that I resonate with as having done in 2022, where I cleaned a lot of stuff out of my apartment, and it was also at the same time I was going through a significant spiritual cleansing of clearing out things from my past that I no longer needed, emotions and resentment and things that were left unsaid. You know, I got all of that kind of clearing that out of the way and getting some clarity about that in the springtime when I was cleaning my apartment, and then I ended up going through a throat chakra expansion over the summer so that I could express some of those emotions and resentments and get that kind of all cleared away, get it off my chest, out of my psyche, out of my energy for good. So that might be something that is going to happen for you this year. This card is the color of the throat chakra, and so I would say that there might be like a cleansing process, things that are going to bubble up to the surface so that they can be cleared away, cleansed and released. If that resonates for you. I wasn't going to talk about these oracle cards right away, but I am feeling very drawn to do that. And then we have the club, which says someone will try to make you do something against your will. And that is interesting given the energies that we have here, and we will talk about that in a moment. And then we have, I love this, we have the rabbit. And I will say that this card came out before I had even started asking the question. Like like a rabbit, it leapt out of the deck, and I was like, I wasn't even ready to take a card yet. And I asked, like, should I take this? And I heard an insistent yes, this card was meant to come out. So you were meant to see the rabbit spirit, and it says too much concern with sexual matters, which I think is funny, might be related to this Knight of Wands right here. There could be a message that you will have a new relationship coming in for you this year, or you might have an increase in the physical intimacy in the relationship that you are currently in. There might be something that really sparks a passion in that connection, or you might have a new connection coming in where there is a very intense physical chemistry. And there might just be, a message here just to be careful, and be as safe as it is possible to be, and to make sure that, if there's too much concern. So there might be something where something might, kind of get a little bit imbalanced for a little bit, just when you're in kind of that really intense, passionate stage of a relationship, where everything is very physical all the time. There might be some other aspect of your life that might require your attention, or there might be something that is a connection between this rabbit card and the club card, someone trying to make you do something against your will. I don't want to be alarmist about this, but I will say there might be some aspect, you might have a connection with someone that is very, very, has a very intense chemistry. there's a lot of physical attraction between you and that person, and they might try to use that to their advantage in some way. They might start to try to manipulate you, and there might be a warning about that. That there might be, so you have a very intense physical connection with somebody, but they might not be the most trustworthy person. And the advice there would be to really tap into your and connect to your intuition. You can trust your intuition. If you're seeing red flags about somebody who you do feel intensely attracted to, you're not sure whether you can trust them, and you're starting to see red flags in their behavior, they might be coming across as being just a little bit controlling, a little bit manipulative, a little bit selfish. There might be a message to really pay attention to that, because you're seeing those red flags for a reason. And it's not a message, that you can't have fun with that person, or you can't kind of indulge in those physical pleasures with that person. But I think it is just a message to be careful, because their motives might be in question, or they might start to try to take over a little bit, take more than you are willing to give. And again, the advice there would be to trust your intuition about that. And if you need to pull your energy away to do that, I would say that it is very likely that you are going to be doing that anyway, because you are going to be in the energy of the Emperor. And the Emperor is somebody who takes care of themselves and make sure that they are enforcing clear and healthy boundaries for themselves. And the Emperor is somebody who doesn't take any BS from their romantic partners or sexual partners, So that might be something that resonates for you. And I will say, I know I'm talking really fast. Honestly, I just filmed pile 1. I was feeling really mellow and talking pretty slowly in their reading. But as soon as I've tapped into this energy, that with the energy of the rabbit, it's just leaping out. These messages are just flowing out. And I'm sorry if I'm talking really fast. There's a lot coming through here. And I'm feeling very energetically connected to your pile. So, I want to say that I do think that this is overall generally going to be a really good year for you. It's going to be a good year in terms of your spiritual development, and there's also positive messages about success. And success when it comes to a career, and then possibly somebody coming, again with the Knight of Wands here, maybe somebody romantic coming towards you. Knight of Wands, the Emperor, there could be a divine masculine that comes towards you, if that resonates for you. It doesn't have to be, it could be any gender of a person. That might, again, with the rabbit here, I was connecting this to a romantic situation. However, this might be related to discovering a passion that you have, discovering a creative outlet, and or with the Ace of Pentacles, something that has to do with your career this year that is really going to be very fulfilling, and that is going to be successful, because we do have the first card out here being the Eight of Wands. And the Eight of Wands is a positive message. It talks about something that moves really fast, something that it's like a very quick success. It's like something taking off. It can be connected to something going viral, just like an unexpected and an exponentially quick moving success in some way. And there is a connection between this Eight of Wands and this Knight of Wands. There's a similar pattern on these cards, and the suit of wands in itself is connected to passion, inspiration, creativity, and so there might be a connection between something that is going on with and sorry, I was thinking about this, and then I got sidetracked. There might be, in addition to the upper chakras here and the throat chakra over here, there might be something going on with your sacral chakra as well, in terms of, and that can be connected to the element of water. Sacral is connected to water, to emotions, intimacy, creativity, physical intimacy, and creative expression, like expressing your emotions in a creative way. That might be something that resonates for you as something you might be interested in doing, in which case I think you're being encouraged to go for it. And I think towards the beginning of the year, you are going to be feeling like things are picking up. They're picking up speed. They're picking up momentum. And this could be saying that towards the beginning of the year, you might meet somebody and get into a relationship with them. And or, as I said, this could be also, in addition to having some sort of connection, could be you're feeling very passionate about a creative project, or something in your career starts to take off, or if you're trying to do something on social media or in the public eye, it could be having like a sudden success. Like maybe, for example, I'll just speak for my own experience. There have been times when I've posted a video that I thought was like, okay, this is I'm proud of it. I liked what I did. I didn't think it was anything special, and then that ends up being my most viewed video on my channel. Then it just kind of takes off. So that might be something that happens towards the beginning of the year, and that might be something that it's like, I think it's important that we have this High Priestess kind of in between this Eight of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles. Might be something that kind of triggers a reevaluation of the intuitive thoughts and feelings that you have about the situation. So to put it that way, it might trigger like a spiritual awakening of some sort, or a spiritual expansion of some sort. There might be some expansion in your spiritual gifts that might happen as a result of whatever this quick success is, something taking off. And or it could be that this circumstance again gives you an opportunity to really tap into, okay, but how do I feel about this? What do I think about this? What is my spiritual guidance about this? What is my intuition in particular telling me about this situation? And can I shift away from there? Like, this is a very exciting energy to be in. The Ace of Pentacles is much more grounded. It's very practical. It's saying, how can I take this very exciting, very passionate energy, this quick moving success, how can I take this and turn it into a seed that I can plant into the physical world and really grow something from this? And the Ace of Pentacles, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for growth. It's an opportunity for financial gain, long-term financial investment. It's an opportunity for committing to something. It's like, because I know that there is potential success here, because I've seen some of it take off in some way. Whatever this Eight of Wands is referring to, I'm now going to tap into my intuitive feelings about it and say, like, okay, how can I turn this Eight of Wands into the Ace of Pentacles? And I think that is going to be a very divinely led, divinely guided process for you. And then this Ace of Pentacles is a beautiful message. The Ace is it's an opportunity. It's the beginning of a new cycle. It's an opportunity to commit to something, whether that is a career change, could be talking about a new job. It could be talking about committing to your spiritual development and your connection to the divine, and could be about committing to this process of cleansing and really kind of speaking your truth this year. Whatever it is, this can also be talking about a new relationship. And so it's up to you to kind of with the High Priestess and the other messages here, it would be up to you to kind of figure out which interpretation, or if all of these interpretations are resonating for you. I'm realizing I'm speaking way too fast and I'm getting sidetracked. They're definitely tapping into the energy of this Eight of Wands here, which can feel like we're moving forward so quickly that the kind of the ground can come out from underneath us. And I think that's why it's important that we're going through this High Priestess process to get to this grounded energy of the Ace of Pentacles. We're taking a practical approach to this. This would be saying, if you are interested in making a change in your career or investing in something that might have to do with something creative or something that makes you feel really passionate or something spiritual, if you're interested in doing that, there might be some practical aspect to it that requires research, might be something that requires an initial financial investment, whatever that is. I think you are going to be going for it, probably because you're going to be receiving spiritual guidance that is, kind of confirming for you that this is part of your divine path. The Ace of Pentacles, as I said, it is a positive message about the start of something new that has to do with committing time, energy, resources, money towards growing something. This is long-term investment, and I think that that's definitely a very positive message. And then we do have this Knight of Wands here, and I definitely was connecting this to the the energy of the rabbit spirit, that you might have like a really passionate connection that's coming in. It could be related to whatever you're doing spiritually or whatever you're doing in terms of your career. but it doesn't have to be. This could be a separate message. You might have, again, somebody new coming in towards you. The Knight of Wands, because it's a knight, it can represent somebody else coming towards you, somebody else who approaches you. That definitely could be a message here. And the other way to interpret this is the Knight of Wands, when it's referring to your energy, can be about feeling very passionate, feeling very like inspired, feeling very creatively inspired, feeling very much like whatever I've invested in this Ace of Pentacles, I'm going to show up and work really hard on it every day because I'm having so much fun, because it really sparks my passion, it really sparks my creativity. Like this is something that again, it's like the energy of the Knight of Wands is like, I never want to stop being in this energy. This is so much fun. I'm feeling so inspired. I feel so passionate about this that it is like every day is just like sunshine and rainbows, and I'm running. You know, the person on this card, this knight here is running forward. You know, and there's a cheetah here as well. So it's like wanting to have like really fast forward momentum and move towards my goals. This could also be saying the Knight of Wands is also associated with a very social energy. It can be saying that you know, if someone will try to make you do something extra will, you might be making a lot of like social connections. You might be like meeting a lot of new people, going out more, trying new things, going to different restaurants, trying new activities that you've always wanted to try. It's like, let's embrace our courage and just go after it. Let's try new things. Let's go new places. Let's go on an adventure. Let's be bold and courageous. Unfortunately, that can attract to, you know, all kinds of different people, and not everybody has good intentions. So there again, I think this club here is just a warning. You can trust your intuition and you will be receiving spiritual guidance about this person, but just a warning, like you can trust. If you see a red flag and you think somebody is trying to control you or manipulate you in some way, there's a confirmation here. Yes, they are. You can trust your feelings about that. It is okay to detach and walk away from people who are in that energy, even if there are parts of that connection that make us feel really good and are very pleasurable. There is part of this that's like, but we still need to take responsibility for protecting ourselves and protecting our own energy, which can be an associated message of the Emperor. And like I think you are going to be feeling very passionate, very excited, very creatively inspired, very much like, I'm so excited about this Ace of Pentacles. I really want to invest all my time and energy into this. I'm feeling so excited about it, so excited about the potential of the future of whatever this Ace of Pentacles is, this new beginning, this new project, a new job, whatever it represents for you, whatever you're committing to. You're going to be feeling really good about it. But there is, again, a message like to also make sure that you are grounding that in a practical way. And the Emperor is very practical. And it's also number 4. The energy of a 4 would be the energy of safety, stability, security. And the Emperor is representative of the divine masculine, which is associated with practicality, having a plan, taking responsibility, and being assertive. And the Knight of Wands is also an assertive energy. And so it's like, I'm moving forward. I'm actively taking an active role to move forward towards my dreams and goals and whatever is being represented on the Ace of Pentacles. And I'm also being assertive. I'm being assertive about my boundaries, and I'm being assertive about self-care and taking care of myself. The Emperor, again, they take care of themselves, and they take care of whoever else is their responsibility to take care of. So for example, if you have people who are dependent on you, such as children, that's an energy of I'm going to step up and take care of the things that are my responsibility, and I'm going to leave everything else up to whoever's responsibility it is. I'm not taking on too much, but I am taking control of my life. I'm taking an active role in planning my life, planning my future, and taking a practical stance. The Emperor I also associate with, you know, the Emperor always has a plan. They have a plan A, a plan B, several backup plans. There might be yes, it's really fun and exciting and really positive to be in this Knight of Wands energy, and also let's make a plan. So that might be something that resonates for you. And then I think the last thing that I want to say for you, Pile 2, today, again, this might be a bit of a shorter reading than Pile 1, just because I'm feeling like it's really easy to kind of tap into this energy, get these messages out. I realize I'm speaking really fast. I'm very excited for you. I'm very excited about this reading. There might be an associated message. If there is somebody coming towards you that's being represented as this Knight of Wands, that's going to be, you know, sparking a kind of a sacral chakra expansion for you, put it that way. Whatever it is, they might be a fire sign. They might in particularly be an Aries. And so that just might be an associated message there for you. With that said, again, I think the overall advice here is with this Hawaiian owl, which says your ancestral spirit guides are offering you guidance now. So pay close attention to signs and omens from them. You can trust your intuition, you can trust the spiritual signs and symbols that you are receiving. If you're feeling confused or like this is overwhelming and like it's too much, too fast, there might be advice to meditate, try to slow down, try to ground yourself in the physical as much as you can, maybe do some yoga, whatever helps you feel like you're not so much in your head, you're maybe a little bit more grounded in your body. However that helps, whatever helps you kind of slow your mind down a little bit so that you can hear and see the signs and symbols that Spirit is sending. And I think you're going to have a real sense of direction and a really exciting, passionate year. You know, no matter whatever happens in this, if there's a relationship that's coming in, or if there's a development in a relationship that you are currently in, that is something that has to do with like passion and etc. You know, whatever's going on there, and or just in having a real sense of direction and purpose in your life, and maybe whatever creative thing you might be working on, whatever spiritual development you might be going through, something maybe related to your career, you are going to be feeling really good this year. There's lots of positive things that are happening, and you're also going to be taking control of specific things in your life that it is your responsibility to take control of. And I really love that for you. I think that that is a very positive message. With that said, that is where I'm going to leave your reading for today, pile 2. I hope that you have enjoyed this reading. I hope I wasn't talking too fast. If you did like this video, please feel free to give it a like. That really helps me out. Please comment down below and let me know how this resonated for you. If you like my videos and you want to see more from me, you can feel free to subscribe to my channel. I also have a Patreon where I post different bonus content. And with that said, thank you very much for watching Pile 2, and I do hope to see you in my next video. Hello Pile 3, and welcome to your reading. If you chose the White Numen Tarot, this is going to be your reading for today, where we are taking a look at what you can expect in 2023. This is meant to be just like general reading of different themes and other things that might come up this year for you. We will be doing separate videos on career and romance, so keep your eyes out for those videos. And with that said, let's get right into it. What can Pile 3 expect in 2023? Okay. We have the Knight of Pentacles and the Six of Wands. Very nice. I will fix the cards. They're very slippery. We have the Ten of Cups. Beautiful. Okay. Okay. All right. We have the rest of your cards here. We have the Moon. Okay. And the Seven of Cups. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to fix the cards up. All right, and we are going to get your oracle cards right off the bat, just so that we have a more complete picture of what is going on in the tarot cards. And the first card that we have for you is the Blue Heron. This is interesting because when I was shuffling this oracle deck, intending to pull your card, before I could even kind of really tap into the energy and start pulling cards, Spirit insisted. I heard the word heron in my head, and I saw a blue heron, and I was like, well, you know, I want to kind of see what cards come out. And then I kept shuffling, and no cards were coming out, and Spirit kept insisting, the blue heron, the blue heron, the blue heron. And I said, okay, do you want me to take the blue heron? And they said yes. So so I just pulled the card out of the deck. So it was kind of an interesting experience for me, because that usually doesn't happen. I don't usually receive messages that way. The cards usually come out as I'm, you know, while I'm asking the question, they'll come out of the deck. So I did want to say that this, like, Spirit was very insistent that that this blue heron card was the advice for you this year. And it says, make a stand for what you believe in and do what feels right in spite of any judgment or disapproval from others. And I think that's really interesting, especially given this transition from the Ten of Cups through the Moon to the Seven of Cups. But we'll talk about that in a second. And then we have, oh, very interesting. Okay, we do have rejection. That's definitely very interesting there. And we have pain. And it is very interesting given the messages that we have in the tarot. This is a bit more of a complex energy. I will say with Pile 2's reading, it might be the shortest one just because all of their messages came flowing out all at once, and there was really, like, it was extremely easy to interpret and tap into that energy. With your pile, there might be something a little bit more complex going on, so it might be a bit of a longer reading. So, but that's fine. We'll get into it. And then we have Nest. It says, an emotionally secure, loving family is important to you. That might be something you already know. It might be like a confirmation of that. This might be something that has to do with this Ten of Cups here. It might be something like there's something emotional going on here. It's a little bit complicated. There might be something going on with your family of origin this year. There might be an opportunity to evaluate your priorities when it comes to what type of family you want to create for yourself. And that could, even if you are not somebody who wants children of your own, if that is not something that is meaningful for you, family can be any unit. Like a family can have many varied and different shapes. There's blended families, there's found families, there's a family can be two people, a family can be one person and their pets, however that is meaningful and fulfilling for you. There's an element of emotional security and love that is important to creating this kind of nest for yourself. So I want to say that. And then we have, oh, I love this. Okay, we have the beetle, which says good fortune. So there is a message, even despite this rejection, pain, whatever is going on here, there is a message about good luck, good fortune coming towards you this year. I do think that it is related. We have the Six of Wands, we have the Ten of Cups, and then we're going through something with the Moon here. But then we're ending up at the Seven of Cups. And the Seven of Cups, I think, is a positive message in this spread here. So with that said, we are starting here with this Knight of Pentacles. And this might be your current energy. This might be an energy that you will soon be entering, or you might not, this might be happening towards the beginning of the year. The energy of the Knight of Pentacles, it is forward momentum, but it's forward momentum one step at a time. It is the slowest moving knight, and it is kind of about embracing an energy of practicality. It's embracing an energy of having a steady routine, showing up every day, putting the work in, taking care of your responsibilities, and working towards balance. There can be a message when this card comes out, because it is the slowest moving knight. There can be a message where, yes, we're making forward progress. We're working towards our goals. We're working towards achieving something, but we are also taking time to enjoy the journey. Because we're not rushing forward, we're not rushing or racing forward. We understand that we're going to get to where we're going eventually, and there's an aspect of building on something day by day that is important to the process here. And so I think that is a really good energy to be in. It is a usually positive message with the Knight of Pentacles, and this might be an energy that you recognize you are already in, kind of just taking it one day at a time, trying to focus on practical matters like work-life balance and taking care of yourself, and showing up every day and doing whatever you can do to work towards your goals, with the understanding that Rome wasn't built in a day, and we can only move forward as much as we can. This is an energy of not controlling, not forcing, but still showing up and doing whatever work we can do towards our goals. So again, I think that is a positive message, and I'm being called to read this as this is probably the energy that you're going to be in towards the beginning of the year. Now, this card can come up. I'm not really seeing a ton of confirmations about that, but this card can come up. Any knight can come up, or pages even can come up when there is somebody new coming into our life. And the knights in particular, I would say, are connected to that message because they are a kind of a cardinal action-oriented energy. And so it's it can be saying somebody is coming into your life, And if that's the case, there might be somebody coming into your life who is very practical, very grounded, methodical, probably focused on self-care, and they might be an earth sign in particular, and they might be somebody who is very patient, kind of enjoying the journey for what it is, and somebody who again, it's kind of a more grounded energy, and it's a slower moving energy. So if you are looking for a relationship, there might be a relationship that is coming in towards you, but it might be something that is more of a slow burn, more of a slow build, if that resonates for you. But I do want to say for the rest of this spread, I'm not seeing a ton of messages about romance. I will be doing, as I said, I will be doing a separate video about romance in 2023. You know, but there's not a ton of messages, I think, about your romantic life in this reading. I think this is like emotional development and something that is going on in your personal life. If there are messages about your career and your financial situation here, I think it might have to do with the Six of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles. It is Pentacles. It is connected with money, career, and what what you're doing in your day-to-day life towards your work. I would connect that with the message of the beetle. There's good fortune coming towards you. This might be related to your career, whatever you're working on, a creative project, whatever it is. There can be like good fortune and success coming towards you that is related to money in your career, and it would be because you are in the energy of the Knight of Pentacles, of just taking it one day at a time, taking a practical approach, taking a grounded approach, and working diligently towards your goal. That is definitely a positive energy to be in when it comes to your career, and it is attracting good luck towards you. And it's interesting because it's the Knight of Pentacles being followed by the Six of Wands is an interesting transition, because the Six of Wands can talk about success. It can talk about achieving the recognition that you deserve, finally being recognized and celebrated for the things that you have worked hard for, things that you do deserve credit for. This card can be associated with social media or anything that has to do with being in the public eye, because it is about achieving recognition for something. It's like being successful and receiving validation from other people about your success. So that might be something that that resonates for you. Something you are trying to achieve, slowly, one day at a time. There would be a confirmation. Yes, you are going to be receiving recognition for something, recognition that you deserve. You might be, receiving an award of some kind, or winning a contest, or if you've been applying to schools, this could be a confirmation you're going to get into a good school, whatever stage of life you're in. This would be, the Six of Wands would be again a confirmation that whatever you're diligently working towards on this Knight of Pentacles, you are going to be successful at it. And it might happen kind of earlier in the year. It might not. Again, the Knight of Pentacles is a slower moving energy, very patient. So it could be saying like you might be in this energy for like the 3 or 4 months until maybe the springtime, and then things might take off for you. And then the whatever's going on here might happen towards the end of the year. But it's a general reading, so the timeline might be skewed towards the beginning of the year or more towards the end of the year, and it would be up to you to kind of interpret how that applies to you. But I definitely think Six of Wands is a positive message. You do have good fortune coming towards you. And then we have the Ten of Cups. And the Ten of Cups is a very positive message in most readings. It talks about extreme emotional fulfillment. We have, we can talk about having a romantic relationship that is extremely fulfilling, and having good family relationships, and just feeling really fulfilled in our job, in our personal life, and like it's all sunshine and rainbows. Everything is coming up exactly how we wanted it to. It's kind of like we've manifested the dream life that we want. We're feeling extremely emotionally fulfilled. That is usually what I associate with the Ten of Cups. It is, it's cups. It's related to our emotions and our relationships. And so there might be a way of saying that, if you have been looking for a romantic relationship, it could be saying there might be something, coming in for you. Or it could just be saying like you're just going to be feeling really fulfilled. There's some kind of pinnacle of emotional fulfillment that you are reaching. And this could be happening maybe towards the summer, towards kind of the middle of the year. But it's like an achievement, success, recognition, and extreme emotional fulfillment. Might be related to your career, might be related to a romantic relationship, might be related to other interpersonal relationships, friendships, soul family level connections, and there might be something going on with your family of origin that might be related to the Nest card, might be related to the advice on the Blue Heron, might be related to rejection and pain. There's a complication here, and it's being represented on the Moon here, because the Moon is a card that talks about confusion. It talks about things that we can't see or that we don't understand. It can talk about distortions, things we're not seeing clearly, hidden things. And there might, when this card comes up in a reading that has to do with like a prediction about the future, sometimes I interpret it as there are things going on behind the scenes that you're not meant to know. Like there are certain things that are spirits working to bring into alignment that, again, you're not supposed to know the details of them yet, or it's just a confirmation, spirits working behind the scenes to help you out, or just, again, there might be circumstances or people coming towards you that you're not meant to know about. It's still behind the veil. It's still hidden from you because you're not meant to know it right away. In this reading, there might be some aspect to whatever's happening on the Moon here. There's a reason that it's the Moon and not a different card. Like, for example, the Three of Swords. I could see that being here, or any other of the Swords cards that carry a heavy message, like the Nine of Swords. Like, I could see that being here. It would be a more specific message. But the fact that it's the Moon might be a message that whatever's going on here is not as clear cut as what might be represented on a different card. Like, there's some aspect of complication here, and there might be something that has to do with, even though you are receiving recognition and praise from people, you might be in the public eye, you might have like the support of a group of friends, a group of found family, your soul family, who might be coming in towards you to support you emotionally during this time. There might be other people who are rejecting you. When it says make a stand for what you believe in and do what feels right in spite of any judgment or disapproval from others, there's something in this rejection and this pain here that has to do with you standing up for something, standing up for yourself, standing up for other people, standing up for your core values and your core beliefs. There might be something that has to do with, not to get political, but there might be something that has to do with a political situation in the country that you live in that you feel really strongly and really passionately about. Maybe something about supporting human rights in some way. That's like I'm just gonna say it like the fact that every single person deserves the same basic human rights should not be a controversial opinion. That is my personal belief, and I would take a stand about that. That might be something that resonates for you as like, I'm going to use my voice. I'm going to stand up about this. And it might involve, maybe with the Nest card here, having to stand up to family. It might have to do with having to stand up to your family of origin, your parents, another loved one, a beloved family member. And that might that might result in them rejecting you. That might result in pain. Because, our relations, particularly our relationships with family, can be complicated. It is usually not so black and white that we can just say, this person is 100% toxic. They're just a bad person. So I'm going to walk away and never speak to them again. We love our family no matter what, right? And it's like that, it can be really, really hard to reconcile the idea that, I love you and also, I can't be around you. It can be extremely, extremely painful to be rejected by family. It can be extremely painful to be rejected by a loved one, even someone who's not family, to be rejected at all. That can be very painful, especially when we feel like we are in the right, we're doing something, we're standing up for something. And then to feel this rejection and pain in response can be very difficult to deal with. And so that might be something. This might be something you already recognize is happening, in which case I would say that, the advice here is to you're doing a great job. keep going. Like there are people, there are soul family members, there are other people in the world who are going to fully resonate with this stand that you're taking, who will fully support you, who support you emotionally and understand where you're coming from and share the same core beliefs as you do. And that I think they're coming in towards you this year. And I think that, again, it's like this, the support of the Ten of Cups is going to help you get through whatever's being represented here. And I do think it probably has to do with family, just because of this Nest card. It's like, it's an opportunity to evaluate how important these beliefs are to you. And as an emotionally secure, loving family is important to you, you might have that coming in towards you with this Ten of Cups this year. And again, this is, family can be whatever you want it to be. It doesn't have to be, you know, the nuclear family of, like, you know, a man and a woman and their like 2.5 kids and the white picket fence. A family can be one person. A family can be two people. It can be, you know, 5 people, 20 people, you know, whatever it is. It's like, it's a group of emotionally secure, loving people who have created a safe place for themselves to support each other emotionally and recognize the important things in themselves, like recognize themselves in each other, to put it that way. So I do think you do have like soul family members. You might already know them, but there's gonna be a real sense of them, and it could be because you know you're doing the right thing. You know you're doing the right thing and the thing that is right for you, and something that is morally in alignment with your core values. And because of that, that is helping you feel very fulfilled, despite whatever rejection and pain might be being represented here. I think it's also important, this is the color of the root chakra, this is the sacral chakra, this is the lower chakra energy, and that's the same color as being represented on the Six of Wands. So it's whatever rejection and pain you're feeling that might be destabilizing for you, that might cause an instinctual feeling like you want to shut down, you want to shut down. Your root chakra might affect your feeling of stability, of belonging in the world. It might affect your feeling of being able to connect emotionally with other people, having like an open sacral chakra about being able to be intimate with other, and to be authentic and share creatively with other people. It is completely understandable and an instinctual reaction to the rejection and pain, and especially from our family, can be to have those lower chakras kind of shut down. I don't see that happening because you have people who are coming in towards you to say, I fully see and support what you're doing here. We have the same core beliefs. I know you're doing the right thing, and I recognize and empathize with the fact that it is very difficult to be rejected by people who are supposed to love and support us just because we're taking a stand on something. And it's like you're going to have people who come in and see you for who you really are. And so whatever's being represented on this moon here, whether it's some circumstance that we don't recognize yet, or there's just something here, I think it's again, it's important that this is the moon and not a different card, because there's some aspect to this that is unexpected, a little bit unpredictable, and or not meant to be known, and or there might be something here that, how do I describe this? The Ten of Cups, this is how you will genuinely be feeling. And then there's something going on here. And then you're going to be in the Seven of Cups energy. And this is not a negative message. To move from the Ten of Cups to Seven of Cups, it's not necessarily a negative thing. The Seven of Cups talks about having options. You can talk about maybe feeling a little bit confused. There could be a related message. The moon it also talks about confusion. Seven of Cups can be a little bit confusing, a little bit overwhelming, because it might come with the realization that we have more options than we thought we did. There are more pathways that are open to us than we thought there were. And that could be something that is as a result of realizing I'm not locked into a box. I'm not stuck in the nest I was born into. I can create my own nest for myself. I can decide what I want my future to look like. I can decide what I want my family to look like. I can make those choices for myself, and it might involve needing to assert those beliefs to my family of origin and take a stand and walk away from things that no longer serve me or are not in alignment with who I authentically am. And I was thinking, you know, maybe this has to do with rejection from your family. This could also be your rejection of the idea that you have to be locked into one specific path. You have to be locked into one specific rigid way of being, of doing things, because you have more options and more opportunities than you might have been led to believe that you do. And there might be a message here, the fact that we have this moon leading into the Seven of Cups. This is going to be a realization. This is going to be a revelation that's going to happen over the course of the year when you are feeling emotionally secure and like you have a loving family, whatever form that family takes. Is going to help you kind of lift the veil off the moon and realize we have choices. We can go anywhere. We can do anything. You know, and there's a related message to both pile 1 and pile 2 is, you know, I don't have to do everything, but I can do anything. You know, and that there's an element of fate. There's an element of destiny. There's an element of, you know, the soul family, there's soul contracts, like things that we have set out to do in this lifetime before we were incarnated. And there are hundreds of different pathways to get to those lessons, to get to those goals, to get to those story beats in the story of your life. You can choose how you want to get there. You can choose what pathway to take. You have free will. You can choose to reject the idea of the divine path altogether. You know, those are options that are available to you. And I really think this is about realizing you have more options than you thought or than you were told that you have. And it's going to be, could be confusing and overwhelming, but you are going to be having the support and approval and non-judgmental support and approval from some aspect of soul family that is coming in for you this year, that is going to help you cope with, process, and release whatever feelings are coming up that are related to this rejection and pain. And it's like, this might be past energy, this might be stuff that's being released this year. You might be healing your root chakra and your sacral chakra this year. That might be why these cards are here. But I really think it's interesting that it's like, yes, these rejection and pain they're not positive feelings. They're not comfortable. But they're also not really being reflected in the tarot cards. Again, this is the moon. I could see this. As I said, I could see this being the Three of Swords. I could see this being, the Nine of Swords, Five of Swords, Seven of Swords, whatever it is. I could see that card being here, but it's very important that that's not the card we have. The card we have here is the moon. And there might be a message here as well that maybe part of the distortion, part of what you might not be seeing right now, there might be a narrative that you are telling yourself or that is unconscious. There might be a narrative in your head about your life story. And maybe part of this energy on the Seven of Cups is realizing you can change that narrative. You get to choose how you want to tell your story and what you want your story to be. And you can retroactively go back and retell your story in a way that works for you. You can change that narrative. And so that might be an important message for somebody watching. I do feel like I'm starting to ramble, so I think this is where I'm going to leave your reading for today, pile 3. I hope that this has been helpful. If you did like the video, please feel free to give it a like. That really helps me out. If this resonated for you, please comment down below and let me know. If you like my videos and you want to see more from me, you can feel free to subscribe to my channel. I also have a Patreon where I post different types of bonus videos. And thank you very much for watching Pile 3, and I do hope to see you in my next video. Hello Pile 4, and welcome to your reading. If you chose the Mystic Mondays Tarot, this is going to be a reading for today where we are taking a look at what you can expect in 2023. This is intended to be more of a general overview of specific themes and other things that might be happening this year for you. We will do separate videos on romance and career, so keep your eyes open for those. And with that said, let's get into it. What can pile 4 expect in 2023? Okay. All right. So we have the Queen of Cups, the King of Cups, the Nine of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Five of Pentacles. Okay. All right, so we are going to take the Oracle cards just before we get into the tarot, just so we can have a full picture of what to expect this year. And the first card we have for, oh, I love this. Okay, we have the Unicorn. It says, indulge your creative, imaginative, and magical side through some form of artistic expression. And I could see that being represented by all this Cups energy over here. Cups is associated with our emotions and our relationships. It is also associated with creativity. So there might be a message there. You might be considering pursuing something creative, even just for your own enjoyment. And I think that you are being encouraged to follow that path, because I think it will provide some level of fulfillment, whether that is something that you would eventually want to transition into a career or a money-making enterprise. It doesn't have to be, you know, sometimes some things are just for us, you know, so that might be something that resonates for you. The next card that we have is Determination. I love that. I would definitely say that there is a connection to the solar plexus. I know this card's hard to see because it's white text on a bright yellow card. It is this determination. There's kind of like a mountain range with it being backlit by a bright sun. And so I think definitely there's a connection to the solar plexus, which is about like willpower, determination, and self-esteem. There might be self-esteem work that you are going to be doing this year. I think that is really going to help you cultivate and maintain a positive outlook in the face of, because mountains can also represent obstacles or challenges. That might be being represented here by the Nine of Wands and the Five of Pentacles. Might be something going on there that needs to be overcome, and I think that you are going to be focusing on developing your determination to overcome whatever obstacles might come up this year for you. And then we do have anxiety, and I'm going to hold this one up too, because again, it's like white text on a bright card, so it is anxiety. There's little squiggles. When I see this card, my first thought is elbow macaroni. So I don't know, I felt compelled to share that thought, yeah, so we have, and I would kind of, you know, if there's elbow macaroni, that's like a child's artwork. There might be some connection to childhood and another connection to some form of artistic expression that might help you get back in touch with your inner child. Maybe doing some inner child reconnection type of work might be beneficial for you this year. And it could be a way, if you do feel like you are experiencing anxiety, it might be a way to help find like healthy coping mechanisms for when you are feeling anxious. And that's just kind of an intuitive way to read that. And then we do have a queen and a king of the same suit. This can be representative of the balance between divine masculine and divine feminine. It can be representative of divine counterparts. It can also be, there might be a message if this resonates for you, because it's like the unicorn is also kind of, it's reminding me again of like an inner child. There's a magical element to it, that like a fantastical element to a unicorn that reminds me of like a child's hope and like general positive outlook and belief in magic. And there might be like a rekindling of that this year, and something that you are being encouraged to pursue. There might be a connection to this king and queen as a way to reparent yourself or reparent your inner child from a place of nurturing and really encouraging your own creative expression. That might be something that resonates for you. And if it does resonate, then definitely I think that is something you were being encouraged to explore this year. And it might be that you might have, I'm going to be honest about what I'm seeing in the cards. You might have something that comes up that that triggers a lot of anxiety. There might be something going on here between the Nine of Wands and the Five of Pentacles. But I also think that I don't think there's necessarily going to be like a major traumatic event or anything like that that's being represented here. This might be a message about things from your past that are going to be coming up because they're getting triggered, and it's an opportunity to cope with those feelings, to process them, and to release them this year. So we do have a couple more cards. I'm getting messages as I'm speaking. So, oh my God. Okay, we have another unicorn. So unicorns in particular might be an important like sign or symbol for you. You might feel really drawn to unicorns in particular, but maybe any other type of like magical creature, such as, you know, like a unicorn, a dragon, a phoenix, anything else that would kind of stand out for you as something that's tied to something fantastical, and or maybe something from your childhood. I just think it's really important that, you know, two totally unrelated decks, and we have the unicorn coming out both times. Definitely that's an important message for you. I think it is tied to your inner child. And then this card says, use your intuition to make beneficial changes. And both the Queen and King of Cups are highly, highly intuitive. You know, there's lots of kind of dark blue color on these two cards in particular. So I do think there might be something related to developing your intuition and really trusting your inner voice and what it is telling you to do. And if there are beneficial changes to be made, there might be something that is related to creative expression, your creativity, your imagination, and your magical side. So you do have a magical side, whether you you know, practice magic, etc. There is a part of you that is innately connected to the magical side of life, and to your own spirituality and your own intuition. And I think you are really being encouraged to lean into that this year. And I think you might be going through like a big spiritual expansion, while also at the same time probably also working on your solar plexus, maybe something that has to do with self-esteem. You do have the determination to overcome any obstacle, definitely connected to the Nine of Wands. That's definitely a message of the Nine of Wands. And then the Five of Pentacles might be context for things that might be getting triggered, and in addition to the anxiety that you are going to be working through this year. That's kind of how this might be kind of a past thing that is being brought up again, so it can be processed and released. And then the last card that we have for you, I love this. Okay, we have Basket, which says recognition, reward for merit. So I do think that, you know, along with the message of the determination and this Wheel of Fortune card, there is good luck. There's positive things that are coming in for you this year, and I think that we're not getting super specific into what those things are. I think because the major message here from your spirit guides about 2023, like the general overview for you, is that you are going to be doing a lot of spiritual development, a lot of reconnection with your inner child, a lot of learning how to cope with past trauma, things that are getting triggered and brought up, and there might be some reparenting of yourself that you are being really encouraged to lean into this year, because that is really going to help you overcome obstacles and maybe push through a period of time this year where you might be considering giving up. It might seem like a really long slog to get through all of this stuff, and it's really difficult. And in that case, I think you're being encouraged to create kind of a safe place for your inner child. Not everything needs to be shadow work all the time. Not everything needs to be hard, painful, traumatic memories all the time. We can also make time to play and to explore and to create and to just fantasize about things, and that's totally okay to do that and to lean into that, because it is a way to help us reconnect with and reclaim our inner child. In a world that is often pushing us to be very practical and very achievement oriented. There can be it can be going against the grain of the social norm to instead say, no, today I'm going to take a day just to indulge my inner child. And I think that is something that you are going to be leaning into this year. And then with recognition and reward for merit, I think you are going to be definitely receiving praise from some source. And I think that this is also a message that is connected with the intuitive sense I was getting about reparenting yourself, from a place of nurturing and from a place of giving yourself that recognition and giving yourself that reward for merit, because you do deserve it. And I think that might be related to this message about the solar plexus and self-esteem in particular, like giving yourself affirmations, giving yourself a pat on the back, you know, a kudos, a celebration. Like, it's okay to, you know, if you have achieved something, it is okay for you to kind of like throw yourself a party, you know, and even if it's just for you, like to put a party hat on, you know, to buy yourself a cake and to say, I did it. I'm so proud of myself. I did a great job, and I did it, you know, all by myself. And you know, and to, again, it's coming from a place of giving yourself that love and recognition and affirmation that you might not have received as a child, if that is something that resonates for you, or there might have been some other specific traumatic event that happened, might have left you feeling like abandoned, might have left you with abandonment wounds, inner child wounds, and feelings of not belonging or being left out of something, definitely associated with this Five of Pentacles. I could see that being healed here by this presence of the Queen and King of Cups coming out together in the first part of your spread here. So starting with the Queen and King of Cups, I do think it's really important that they came out together, and it's really interesting. I will say, for the last reading that I did with this deck, these cards did come out together for that reading as well, and I have shuffled this deck so many times in between that reading and this reading. All the other cards are different here. So I really think these two cards are meant to come out together for you. And I think it is an important message that they did come out together. I think that, you know, we could say this is, you know, a message about reparenting from a divine feminine, divine masculine, and having kind of that joint, like having a joint partnership of parents who are working together to give you both the nurturing side and the more practical, responsible side of you know, the parenting duo. However, we would say that might apply in the 3D. Energetically, I would definitely tie this to reparenting yourself from a place of love, nurturing, affirmation, positivity, and cultivating and nurturing your inner child and your creativity. Because again, I did say, Cups is related to emotions and relationships. It is also related to creativity. So the fact that we have both of these, you know, the Queen and King of Cups here, I think that there's going to be a lot of emotional development for you this year. I think that it might be, you know, towards maybe that, like the beginning of the year, the winter moving into the spring. I think that this is going to be where a lot of your focus is on. And there is a message with both the Queen and King here, the same suit, a balance between divine feminine, divine masculine. So again, it's that nurturing side, the focus on intuition, really connecting with your emotions, taking the time to give yourself the praise and validation that you need, and really cultivating that connection with your inner child from a non-judgmental place. And then at the same time, also having a focus on taking responsibility for your own emotional development, your own process of healing, and how you can apply the things that you are learning through the healing process, through your spiritual journey in this lifetime, to your current relationships, your future relationships, how you interact with people. And it's like really going through a process of examining, okay, what am I feeling right now? Let's identify the feeling. What is causing this feeling? And is this something that, you know, that is being triggered by my past? Is this something that I need to work on healing and releasing? Is this something that I need to allow myself to just feel, because I know that this is only temporary? I need to feel this feeling and it will go away eventually. You know, I don't need to panic or catastrophize or overly identify with whatever the feeling is, because it will, you know, it will be processed and released in due time. Whatever spiritual, emotional work you might be like focusing on at the beginning of the year, I can see you really leaning into it and really coming towards it from a very balanced and healthy perspective. Queen and King of Cups, like this is a very healthy emotional energy to be in. And I do think there is going to be a focus on reconnecting with your inner child and perhaps reparenting yourself. So that's really what I'm seeing there. There could also be a message. We will do a separate romance reading, and that's why I didn't go too far into what the message of the basket card might be related to your career, because we're also going to do a separate career reading. But there could be, it could be a way to read these cards. There might be a relationship that is going to be coming in for you, maybe towards the beginning of the year. And if that's the case, it would be a case about a message about a divine counterpart and a really strong emotional connection with somebody. And it's like this person is on your level in terms of your emotional maturity and spiritual development, probably a very highly intuitive connection, potentially a soulmate connection, and definitely an emotionally intense connection. So that's another way to interpret these cards coming out together. And then we have the Nine of Wands, and this card can talk about that feeling when it has been a very long road. It's been a very long journey, especially if we're talking about emotional work here, maybe something that has to do with your childhood, maybe whatever is going on here, reconnecting with your inner child, reparenting yourself, like healing, releasing, processing emotions, examining your relationships, learning how to express yourself in relationships, and healing your heart chakra, and and how to learning how to relate to people in a healthy and balanced way with clear boundaries, etc. This is very hard work, and it can be extremely draining, especially if we're dealing with people who are not used to us coming towards our relationships from a different perspective. There can be a lot of pushback. People aren't used to it. It can just be a lot to do this kind of stuff, and that can lead to this feeling on the Nine of Wands of, I have been fighting for so long, I've been working so hard, and I'm exhausted, and is this worth it? Like, is this worth it? And one of the messages of this card can be, you're almost there, keep going. You're doing a great job, you are almost there, please keep going. It can be an encouragement from Spirit. It's a recognition that this has not been an easy road. It is not a short process. It is committing to this process of self-development. It's a big commitment, and it's like a lifelong process. There's going to be stuff that comes up that gets triggered in every new situation, a new relationship. When something changes, stuff gets brought up. It's a lifelong process, and when we're in the thick of it, it can feel like it's never going to end, or it's never going to get better. Like whatever heavy thing we're trying to process, like it's just going to be heavy forever. There is a message that you're getting really close to a breakthrough or the end of a cycle, the completion of something. 9 is associated with completion and fulfillment, and it's like you are so close. And it's an encouragement to keep going. There's a message about determination. We are almost at the top of this mountain, and it's been a hard climb, and you should be so proud of yourself. And please keep going, because you're almost there. It's that type of message. So towards maybe the middle of the year, and the timeline will be different for everybody because it's a general reading. It might be more compressed towards the beginning of the year. This might happen more towards the end of the year. Whatever resonates for you, but it might happen towards the middle of the year, maybe like around the summertime, where you start to feel, is this worth it? It's taking so long. I'm getting really tired. Should I keep going? And then I think that by choosing to lean into, it's almost the unicorn, double unicorn here is making me think of, the suspension of disbelief that is necessary to be able to enjoy things like a fantasy novel, or the Avengers, like a superhero genre, where it's like, I need to suspend my disbelief that something like this could happen in order to enjoy the story that I'm being told. There might be a need to kind of engage in a suspension of disbelief. It's like having a faith, a profound faith. And I think unicorns are also a symbol of faith. Having that profound faith that you will get over the top of this mountain. It's like tapping back into a child's belief that that everything is going to be okay, in order to help you propel yourself over the top of this mountain, something that might look insurmountable, that might seem impossible. You know, if we're approaching it from the mindset of, you know, a practical adult mindset, it's like through a child's eyes. It's like, this is a hero's journey, and I'm the hero, and so I'm going to complete this journey. And that's just the end of it. Like, that's that, you know? So I can see, like, there might be a moment of doubt here, but I know that you're going to push through it. And if there is anxiety here, I think that it might be, again, like a mix of this moment of doubt here. Like, am I ever going to get over this mountain? Am I ever going to get through this process? Is this ever going to start feeling easier? It might also be related to something that's getting trigger related to your past. So that might be something that resonates for you, however that resonates. And I think it is important that the card that we have in between these two energies is this Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune is a very positive message. It is it's usually pretty positive regardless, but it is very positive when we're talking about the future, when we're doing like a future predictions type of reading. Because it carries a message about good fortune, and it carries a message about forward momentum, forward progress. We're starting, it's the number 10, which reduces to 1. It's like the end and then the beginning of something. Like, we're going through a cycle where we are, and it's like we got a 9 and then a 10. So, you know, like we're progressing. There's forward momentum going on. And then this card did come out for, I think it was pile 1, where there was a message that the wheel is moving because you have chosen to take the wheel, to put it that way. Like you are causing forward momentum. It's fortune. Like, there's an element of fate, there's an element of destiny, there's an element of our soul's path that is predetermined, it's pre-planned. But it's like instead of it being so tightly scripted that you have no free will, it's more like there's a general themes, there's general lessons that your soul has decided to learn in this lifetime, and it is up to you to choose which pathway you take to get there. You know, how are you going to hit those story beats? Like, that's totally up to you 100%. You know, and there is a potential, because you do have free will, there is a potential timeline where you choose not to go through any of the lessons in this lifetime. You know, you don't have to fulfill your soul's contract. You know, that's up to you. But there is, like with the Wheel of Fortune, this would be both a message that you are on the path that your soul has determined. Like, you are following the path of fate and destiny. You are also causing this forward momentum for yourself through the work that you're doing, through whatever you are tapping into here that has to do with your creativity, your artistic expression, whether that is just for you or if that is something that you are choosing to share with the world. That might be, say, you might be achieving recognition for something creative that you are putting out into the world, because it is so tapped into your own inner magical being. To put, I don't know how else to express that. Like, it's so tapped into your own inner magic that other people can't help but be amazed by it. That's kind of what's coming through. And it's like you are putting this wheel into motion for yourself. And this card is the Wheel of Fortune. It's tied to good fortune, good luck. It's like you are creating your own luck by choosing to engage in this work, and also by pushing through with determination, pushing through any obstacles, and just having like this really super positive belief in yourself that is being consistently reinforced by yourself and your own affirmations, your own self-esteem work. There might be like standing in front of the mirror and just reminding yourself that you are strong and you are brave and you are extremely capable, and seeing yourself say that to yourself can help reinforce that to yourself, so that you do know that you do have the courage and the strength and the capability to overcome this mountain, to push past this moment of doubt towards the finish line that is coming up. You are closing out a cycle this year for sure. And then with the fact that the last card that we have here is the Five of Pentacles, you know, when I did kind of look at this spread and kind of try to tap into what's the message here, what's going on here. I think it's interesting that the person on this Five of Pentacles is kind of looking back on this like, you know, it's just interesting the way that these characters are facing. So this is giving me the sense, and especially with the dark blue color here of, and there's a connection to intuition, there's a connection to the third eye here. I just am seeing this being related to something that has happened in the past that we're moving away from. And it is a 5. Like, it's a 5 is a number that is associated with change. It's associated with good fortune, positive, like change for the better, beneficial changes. And I think that, like, use your intuition to make beneficial changes. I wasn't even thinking about that. That's kind of what I'm talking about here. There's a connection to intuition. There's a connection to making a positive change. And it's like the Five of Pentacles is a heavy energy. It can talk about feeling abandoned, feeling left out, feeling like we're missing out on something. Like there could be something that has happened in your past. You might have family of origin issues that have created an abandonment wound. You might have inner child trauma. You might have something like that, or it could be something that is totally unrelated to your family of origin. You might not identify with this message about reparenting yourself, because maybe you did have very loving and supportive parents, in which case this might also be talking about any other circumstance in your life, any other event that has happened in your life that has caused that feeling of, I don't belong here, I'm being left out here, I'm being abandoned, I'm being locked out of something and being rejected in some way. And that's it. That can be a very painful and heavy feeling. But as I said, I'm being called to interpret this as a past experience that is being triggered and brought up so that it can be processed and then released. And so I do think, even though we do have this anxiety here, and we do have this Five of Pentacles, I really think this is stuff that you're working through by reconnecting to the messages on both of these unicorn cards. Like indulge your creative, imaginative, and magical side through some form of artistic expression, and then use your intuition to make beneficial changes. I see you doing that. And then I was like, the first thing when I saw this card was elbow macaroni, and using that to make, like, you know, kids make macaroni artwork. That was the immediate thing that popped into my head when I saw that card. And it's like, that's a connection to both of these. Like there might be something, some intuitive, like, it's, how do I put this? You might intuitively know how to heal this stuff. And how to make, like, which changes that you need to make in order to be able to get away from this energy. Because again, this is not a positive place to be. There might be self-esteem work that you will be working on that has to do with, you know, if you have had experiences where you have been abandoned, you have been rejected, you have been left out. There's, like, I could see this being related to being bullied as a child. Whatever it is, that can create a really deep wound. And so there might be, like, it's a process of examining how we have internalized those experiences, and instead of taking that in and saying, oh well, you know, I was abandoned because I'm unlovable, or because, you know, people don't like me, or I don't fit in, or whatever it is, turning that around and saying, like, it was not about me. Like, the people who bullied me would have bullied anybody. Like, it wasn't about me specifically. It could be said, like, the other people have their own wounds, they have their own trauma, they have their own issues that they're either dealing with or not. You know, but it doesn't, I don't need to internalize that as I deserved to be mistreated in some way. And I instead can turn around and lean into the knowledge that I am beautiful, brave, strong, creative. I am intuitively connected. I am loving. I am lovable. I deserve to be here. I deserve to have my voice heard. I deserve this recognition. I have worked so hard, and that is amazing, and I'm so proud of myself. And I you know, if someone left me out of something, then it wasn't meant for me. And I will find my group. I will find, you know, people who want to include me and want to spend time with me and who will validate me because I am valid. You know, there could be work that's related to that I think you are going to be working on and focusing on this year. I do feel like I'm starting to ramble a little bit, so this might be where I leave your reading. Pile 4. I hope that I've kind of clearly communicated some of the themes that you're working on this year. I do think it's really interesting that we've had like the unicorn come out twice. It's an uncommon animal, so you know I do think there's like an important message here. If you see unicorns, if that imagery keeps popping up, I would take that as a message of encouragement from your spirit guides, and I would take that also as a reminder. You know, if you feel like you've been kind of getting caught up in kind of the slog of daily life and like, you know, trying to live as an adult and etc., and all your responsibilities is getting overwhelming, there might be a message like for example, for me, I just recently bought a paint by number kit off of Amazon, and I'm excited to do that just because you know, it's something that I can do to connect with my own inner child. It's a form of artistic expression that is just for me. So that might be something that resonates for you, as just an example of the type of thing that we're talking about. And with that said, again, I am rambling now, so I'm gonna stop. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did like it, please feel free to give it a like. That really helps me out. Please comment down below and let me know how this resonated for you. If you like my videos, you want to see more from me, you can feel free to subscribe to my channel. I also have a Patreon where I post different types of bonus content. And with that said, thank you very much for watching Pile 4, and I do hope to see you in my next video.